Hi, it's Mrs. Pope, and today we're going to be talking about graphing lines in slope-intercept form. A couple of different forms that you'll find equations in for graphing. This is one of the most popular. So this form, slope-intercept form, is in y equals mx plus b. M is our slope, b is our y-intercept. So if you find yourself with an equation in this form, it's very simple to graph. So make sure you recognize it's in slope-intercept form, and you can use these short steps to be able to graph it. Okay, so our goal today is to use slope and y-intercept, and I'm going to refer to y-intercept shorthand this way, to graph a line. So if it's in slope-intercept form, you should be happy. First step is to identify the slope, which is m, and the y-intercept, which is considered b, and then graph the line. Once you know those two things, the steps are very short to do this. So our first example here, we have 2/3 x plus 2. Y is equal to 2/3 x plus 2. My slope, which is m, is my coefficient of x. My slope is going to be 2/3. So you want to identify your slope. Say, okay, my slope is 2/3. And b, my y-intercept is 2. So now that I know my slope, and we've just calculated slope and talked about how that's the rise over the run. Remember the 2, if that's up top, this is my rise, or my change in y, over my run, or my change in x. So we rise up or down, and then we run. So once we've labeled these, our steps are plot the y-intercept. So you're going to go over to your graph, and you're going to plot the y-intercept. Well, since it's called the y-intercept, that's where it crosses the y-axis. So that tells you exactly where it goes. Of course, that's our y-axis, our x, our negative x is out here, and our negative y is down here. So if I'm plotting 2 on the y-axis, then I'm going to go to 2 on the y-axis. 0, 2 would be the ordered pair. That's my first step. Then use the slope to plot other points on the line. Okay, well my slope is 2/3. It's great that it's in a fraction. Most time people don't like fractions. When slope is in a fraction in slope-intercept form, it's the greatest. 2/3, so rise 2, then run 3. So we're always going to rise up or down, depending if it's positive or negative, and then run in the direction of the denominator, 3. So you're going to put your pencil right where you plotted that y-intercept, and then you're going to go up 2. So we're going to go up 2, and then we're going to run 3. 1, 2, 3. Up 2. Now again, you may have graph paper, so it'll be a little more exact. Run 3. Connect the points, and you have your line. Remember, you must rise. Think about it. Elevator, you have to go up or down before you get off and walk, right? So you need to rise first and then run. The top number tells you how many you rise, up or down. And then run, we're always just going to start with your first points. Always run to the right. You're just running to the right. We're going to go up or down, and then we're going to run to the right. So keep in mind, elevator. You get on the elevator, then you walk straight off. You don't walk backwards, and you need to go up or down before you can walk out of the elevator. So rise before you run. Here's our next example. So graph the equation y is equal to x minus 3. So here, remember, we always say if there's no number in front of x, it's really an imaginary 1. So our slope here is technically 1. I, however, am going to write it as a fraction. I love slope as fractions because it tells me I can clearly see my rise over my run. So 1 over 1 is my slope, and my y-intercept is negative 3. So from your steps before, you know we would plot the y-intercept. So we're going to go down, kind of hard to see. We're going to go down to negative 3, negative 1, 2, 3. We're going to make our point. From there, we are going to rise, run. So from here, keep your pencil on the y-intercept. We're going to go up 1 over 1. Make a point. Up 1 over 1. Do you see that? Up 1 over 1. So if you continued on, you can go on as many points as you want, or until you can kind of get an idea of where the straight line would be. Remember, this is our y, this is our x, negative y. But now it's graphed. I've told you my slope, told you my intercept, it's graphed. Simple as that. Here, example 3, we have Graph 2x plus 5y equals 10. Yikes. I want it to be in slope-intercept form so that I could graph it in slope-intercept form. So I must solve for y first. So we need to go ahead and use our multi-step equation skills. So 2x plus 5y is equal to 10. I'm going to solve for y first. So here I need to subtract 2x from both sides. So I have 2x minus 2x plus 5y is equal to 10 minus 2x. So the 2x minus 2x, those go away. 5y is equal to 10 minus 2x. Divide everything by 5. So y is equal to 2 minus 2/5 x. Now be careful here when I ask, what is the slope? The slope is always attached to x. So even though it doesn't come first, if I were to rewrite this in slope-intercept form, I would have the slope come first. But from here, we can look at it and see the slope is negative 2/5. The y-intercept is then 2. So just don't get that confused. Just because 2 came first, that doesn't mean it's the slope. The slope is always what's attached to x. So let's go ahead and graph these. Let's plot 2 on the y-intercept. Now we have a negative. Okay, the negative, every time we have a negative in a fraction, all it's going to tell us is instead of rising up, we're going to go down. So we're going to start here. Now we're going to go down 2 over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down 2 over 5. So notice, I still went to the right. I'm always running to the right. The negative just tells me I'm going to move down 2 and then move to the right 5. So the negative doesn't have anything to do. We're not going left. It just tells you go down and then over. One more example. Okay, so let's graph negative x plus 3y is equal to 6. Again, this one is not solved for y yet, so I need to get rid of that x. Well, if I have negative x, I need to add x to both sides. Oops, that should say equals 6 plus x. So negative x plus x, that's 0, they go away. 3y is equal to 6 plus x. Still not done. Must divide by 3. Divide by 3. That means every single thing is divided by 3. So this goes away. Y is equal to 2 plus x over 3. Here, I'm going to label my slope and y-intercept. And remember, there's a 1 here. So the slope is really 1/3. And the y-intercept is 2. I'm going to let you graph this one on your own and bring it into class and let me know how you did. Thanks.